Hello everyone, welcome to Motivation Medicos. My name is Pulkit Gupta and in this video we are going to talk about the palatine tonsils. So this question is very important as exam point of view. So without wasting time, let's get started. So the palatine tonsils. First of all, what is tonsil? So tonsil is the aggregation of lymphoid tissue, or we can say simply the mass of lymphoid tissue. Now the palatine tonsil. See, in general terms, we call it tonsil. Generally the tonsils is known as the palatine tonsils. So if in your exam, if it comes, write a short note on tonsils. So it means it is palatine tonsils. Now the palatine tonsils, where it is present. So this palatine tonsils is present, as you can see, they are present on the lateral side of the oropharynx. See, behind the tongue. This is tongue. So behind the tongue is the oropharynx present. So it is present on the lateral wall of the, as you can see, it has it is present on the lateral wall of the oropharynx, and they basically the palatine tonsil. They are of what type? They are almond shaped, like a almond. They are almond shaped, and I've already told you they are mass of lymphoid tissues. Now, where they are present in the triangular fossa. Now, what is this triangular fossa? First of all, understand the boundaries of the tonsillar fossa. So you need to understand. See this through this diagram, we understand it. See this is our palatine tonsil present in between two arches. See you can see there's an arch which I am highlighting. This arch, and there's one more arch behind it. This the tonsil, this arch. So the arch which is present anteriorly is nothing. It is palatoglossus arch. Now, why calling it palatoglossus? Because it is form of palatoglossus muscle. That's why it is palatoglossus arch. And behind that is posteriorly is a palatopharyngeus arch. This muscle, basically palatopharyngeus muscle, forms a arch-like structure. That's why it is calling it palatopharyngeus arch. So anteriorly we know it is palatoglossus, and posteriorly it is palatopharyngeal. Now what is present up on the above? That is apex. So apex, as we can see in this diagram, this structure is present in the apex. So what is this? It is soft palate. So at the apex is this soft palate present. Now what is present on the base? So also you can see on the base of what is present is the posterior one third of the tongue and its dorsal surface. So the dorsal surface of the posterior one third of the tongue is present on the base. Now on the lateral wall, so you can see laterally what is present. It is superior constrictor. You can see this muscle which is present laterally to this is the superior constrictor muscle. Basically, there are so many structures present laterally, but mainly is the superior constrictor. So these are the boundaries. Basically, anteriorly what is present? Palatoglossus arch. Posteriorly, you can see the palatoglossus arch and the palatopharyngeus. Apex, you can see the soft palate, and posteriorly is present the posterior one third of the tongue, and laterally the superior constrictor, mainly the muscle. Now let's see the tonsillar bed. What is tonsillar bed? Where the tonsil is going to lie. So there are to understand the tonsillar bed, there are three structure. You can remember the what are the structure present in tonsillar bed as FMF. Means there's one fascia, then there is muscle, then there's again fascia present. So fascia, muscle, and fascia. The first fascia which is present on the tonsillar bed is the pharyngobasilar fascia. You can see in the diagram also this fascia is the pharyngobasilar fascia. The second structure which is present, the muscle. Which muscle? Superior constrictor. As I have already told you, in the lateral wall, the mainly the structure is the superior constrictor muscle. And if you go more laterally to this, is the present the fascia is the buccopharyngeal fascia. So these two are basically the modification of deep cervical fascia. These three structures, that is pharyngobasilar fascia, superior constrictor, and now the buccopharyngeal fascia, which is present in the tonsillar bed. So these are the tonsillar bed. Now the external features of the palatine tonsils. is see, as I have told you, it is almond shaped. So basically it has two surfaces. So the two surfaces of it has medial surface as well as it has lateral surface. So if something has medial and lateral surface, that means it must have anterior and posterior border, and it also has two poles, that is upper pole and the lower pole. The lower pole. So if you are talking about the medial surface, the medial surface has basically the as I have already told you in the diagram, we can see in the it is present near the oropharynx. So basically it is bulging into the oropharynx. And one more thing which I want to show you is this yes, the structures, these structures you can see, these are the bulging, you can see the crypts like structure. So these are the crypts present in the medial surface of the tonsil, and they are basically, as tonsils has a defense mechanism, so they protect or they basically prevent any foreign thing to enter. So these things will going to trap in these crypts, or also uh, basically the it occurs in the medial surface. So this crypt, the first crypt is you can see it's a little larger, and its name is intratonsillar cleft. So why it is bigger, and why we are calling it separately, why it is intratonsillar cleft? Because this is the remnant of the second pharyngeal pouch. This pharyngeal, because this palatine tonsil develops from the second pharyngeal pouch. So this intratonsillar cleft represent that it is a remnant of the second pharyngeal pouch. Now, if we talk about the lateral surface, so laterally, you can see there's one structure. There's a fibrous structure this present. So this is the loose, basically the hemicapsule. So you can see this is not present all over the tonsil. Only half it is present. That's why we are calling it. This is hemicapsule. Hemicapsule present. And if we see, so there's some space present in between the, you can say, the loose areolar tissue present between the superior constrictor and the tonsil. So this space is the peritonsillar space. So this space is why I'm telling you this, because in this space we can this is basically the empty space, we can say. So at this space we can if we want to dissect the tonsil, we can cut the tonsil at this dissect at this lab point. And there's one more thing, that in this region pus can be collected because it's a space, so collection of pus can occur, and this abscess can be formed in this peritonsillar space. That's why calling it peritonsillar abscess. And if we're talking about the borders, as I've already told you, anteriorly it is palatoglossus arch, posteriorly is the palatopharyngeus arch, upper there's a soft palate present, and in the lower pole, see lower pole, you can see one structure. See this structure which is joining with the tongue. This is tongue is the structure, the suspensory ligament of the tonsil. So in the lower pole, there is a suspensory ligament of tonsil. So these are the basically external features of the tonsil. Now talking about the arterial supply of the tonsil, this is very important topic, that is arterial supply of the tonsil. So you have to just remember that it comes from the external carotid artery. See, external carotid artery branch is going to supply to the tonsil, and the main one is the facial artery. So first one is first. Let's start from first. That it is lingual artery. The second one is facial artery. Third one is ascending pharyngeal artery, and the fourth one is maxillary artery. The fourth one is maxillary artery. So this lingual artery will give branches. That is this dorsal lingual artery. The branch of lingual artery going to supply to the tonsil, and from the facial artery it is tonsillar branch. See, this is the principal artery you need to remember. If you forget any or other artery, then it will be compensated. But you have to remember this artery definitely, that it is the principal artery of the tonsil is the tonsillar branch of facial artery. The facial artery give one more branch, that is ascending palatine artery, and the third one we see the ascending pharyngeal artery, and the fourth is the maxillary artery. It gives descending palatine artery, or we can say the greater, you can say descending or greater palatine artery, which is going to supply to the palatine tonsil. So there are basically four: lingual artery, it gives branch, that is dorsal lingual artery. Facial artery will going to give two branches, that is main one is tonsillar branch of facial artery, and the second one is the ascending palatine artery branch of tonsillar artery. The third artery is the ascending pharyngeal artery, and the fourth and the last one is a maxillary artery, which give branch, that is greater palatine artery, or the, you can say, the descending palatine artery. So these are the four arterial supply of the tonsil. Now the last not the least is the venous drainage of the tonsil. So basically it will drain its into the it will drain into the paratonsillar vein. So these paratonsillar vein will ultimately going to descend down from the soft palate, and it will go and going to supply, basically ultimately going to drain into the pharyngeal venous plexus. It will going to ultimately into the pharyngeal venous plexus. So basically it will drain into the paratonsillar vein, and through passing through the soft palate it will going to drain into the pharyngeal venous plexus. So that's it for this video. Hope you understand the palatine tonsil well. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and guys, don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you guys.